So you live in the US and you're pretty bummed out you're not able to get some of the newest LEGO summer set releases until August 1st, unlike many of the other countries which have gotten them on June 1st. Well, I'm in the same position, but I'm also here to tell you some quick and easy ways to get some of the newest LEGO sets, minifigures, and really just any parts that you want, either direct from LEGO or get them from other sources very early in the US. Let's dive into the details right now. So the quick summary of exactly what's going on here, in case you're not aware, is that typically for this year and previous summer years, LEGO has released basically every set on June 1st everywhere but the Americas. So every country other than the US and Canada typically will get the newest summer sets on June 1st. Unfortunately, most times the US has to wait until August 1st, although we do get a few goodies here and there like the San Diego Comic-Con exclusives last year that European countries don't get, so it's a bit of a trade-off. But that is a big problem for people who are wanting to get some of the newest LEGO sets early, particularly stuff like, say, Ninjago, where the TV series already aired. A lot of people are excited to get their hands on the newest sets, but they have to wait a couple of months to get them. Well, that's why I'm here to tell you exactly how to get some of these stuff early. The first and easiest way to do this, if you're just wanting to buy the sets themselves, is to go on bricklink.com. So Bricklink is basically a second-hand LEGO reseller site. It's actually directly owned by LEGO, but what's really great about that is that there's a ton of retailers overseas that are selling the newest sets for cheap. So not only will you be able to purchase them and get them shipped to you much earlier than they officially release in the US, but you're often actually going to get them at a big discount as well. In fact, for the previous 2 summers and just a couple of days ago, I placed a massive order of all of the newest summer sets that released on June 1st over in Europe and Asia, and I was able to get them for actually cheaper than I would have paid full retail for them in the US when they came out. So Bricklink is really great for buying a bunch of the newest sets or entire set waves early, because that means they'll be shipped to you relatively quickly. I actually was tracking the dates in which I received the newest summer sets from the previous 2 years, and I was able to get them at around June 10th to June 14th. That was kind of the time window that if I ordered them on June 1st from Europe, they would get there in about 2 weeks. So you can probably expect something similar if you're ordering from a reputable seller, and it's actually very, very simple to do so. Just go on Bricklink, search up the set you want, and voila, it will be right there available for purchase. Obviously, you're going to want to do an invoice and check with the seller in terms of exactly how much shipping is going to be, which is why this is really only feasible if you're buying a ton of stuff at once. The shipping costs in that case will kind of even things out because you're getting so many discounts on so many new sets that even if you have to pay something like 80 to 100 US dollars for shipping, it's still going to be cheaper or at least comparable to what you'd pay in the US. But what if you're on a bit of a budget and say you're not looking to buy the entire set wave? Well, in that case, if you just want a few things here and there, it's gonna be pretty expensive to ship them all the way from Europe. And that's why there are some alternate sources. If you're looking to buy individual sets without breaking the bank on shipping, one of these sites that I really love to use is Zavvi.com. That's Z-A-V-V-I. This is a UK-based retailer which essentially stocks basically everything that's been released in the UK with very quick shipping times to the US, and you don't have to pay too much on shipping either. If you're lucky, sometimes they may have the sets even on a discount, but oftentimes you're probably going to be paying something that's basically just full retail plus shipping, or you may even be having to pay more, especially because some of these sets are converted from British pounds to the US dollar, and as such, they tend up being a little bit more expensive. So this is really the only good option if you're wanting to buy maybe a few smaller sets here and there, or just 1 or 2 items and it doesn't make sense to ship it all the way from some Bricklink seller. This actually has a distribution center in the US, so they ship it from the UK to the US and then to you, so shipping prices are a little bit cheaper that way. But what if you don't really want to get most of the new sets and maybe you just want to get your hands on some of the figures? Well, here comes the best, easiest, and cheapest way to get new summer stuff directly from LEGO. So if any of you have watched any of my other videos, you may know that I often use a service known as Bricks and Pieces. But for the new viewers in the audience, Bricks and Pieces is essentially a service that you can use from LEGO, direct from LEGO, to order basically any new part that they have currently in their inventories. This does not apply to licensed stuff, so unfortunately, any part that is obviously licensed, unless it slips through the cracks, which are few and far between, you cannot order them on Bricks and Pieces. But what's really great about this is that you can order basically anything related to original LEGO themes, such as Ninjago or even the newest LEGO City wildlife animals. Using Bricks and Pieces is very simple, but there's one minor problem. For many of the latest sets, including the Summer 2021 sets, most of the minifigures, particularly with Ninjago, are simply not listed on the site. You see, normally to use Bricks and Pieces, you would just go in, type in a set number, and you'd see basically all the pieces, including minifigures, available for that set, and most of them are available for purchase. There are two major problems with this. For one, there's a lot of really popular parts. So let's say, for example, I wanted to get the newest LEGO City animals, say some of the lions. Well, you see, those lions sold out within the first hour of being on Bricks and Pieces. So if you weren't on Bricks and Pieces, as you can see here, it says out of stock and you can't add it to your cart. The second and bigger problem is that sometimes the items don't even show up in the catalog. Let's search one of the newest Ninjago sets, for example. As I scroll down to the minifigure section, for whatever reason, I can only see Jay's newest torso and legs and some of the scuba helmets. I don't see any of the other ninjas' outfits or any of the exclusive parts, really just a few things here and there that slip through the cracks. So what do you do in that case? Well, there's a trick to this. So here's what you have to do. First, pull up the instruction manual for the set that you want to get pieces from off of LEGO's own instruction manual site. Or in this case, you can just Google the instruction manual because it's a little bit too early at this time to be getting the instruction manuals direct from lego.com. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, you're going to see a parts list featuring every single part and, most importantly, the part IDs that are included in the set. So here you can basically see all of the numbers of the pieces for stuff you want to order from Bricks and Pieces. Now sometimes typing in the exact piece number into Bricks and Pieces, as you can see here, will just show you the part itself. But many times, if you look up the set and the parts aren't there, typing in the number will not yield any results either. So that's where we get to our solution here. You see, LEGO has an awesome service where if you call in to LEGO customer support, you can actually back order parts from Bricks and Pieces. Now, for a short period of time, they shut this down due to overwhelming popularity, so I wouldn't recommend doing it all the time or they might shut it down again. But as of a few days ago, this just opened back up, so I wanted to quickly do a video to explain how this works. Essentially, you come up with your list of pieces that you want, many of which are probably not on Bricks and Pieces, call up customer service and just ask them to place a Bricks and Pieces order. You see, LEGO employees have a different UI that they use or a different kind of workflow to order pieces when customers call in on the phone. They essentially have access to the entire part catalog and essentially can choose whether or not they want to sell you a certain part, whether or not it's deemed as licensed. Thankfully, many of the pieces that are not on Bricks and Pieces are generally okay and available for sale if you call in. And that's exactly what I just did a few minutes ago. So first of all, addressing the first problem if pieces are sold out. So this is really easy. Just call in, say it's on Bricks and Pieces, but it's sold out and you want to back order the part. They'll typically tell you the date the part ships. In my case, I wanted to order some of the newest LEGO City animals, and I was just told that it would ship on June 30th, which is basically fine. I really don't mind waiting, and I'm still getting them earlier if they ship around then too, because they don't come out in the US until August. But what's really cool is that you're able to order pieces that you typically are not allowed to order on Bricks and Pieces. Taking a look at the LEGO City elephants, for example, they show up on Bricks and Pieces, but the price is $0 and you are not allowed to buy them. If you call in though, just explain this issue and they should be able to add it to your cart for most cases, unless it's very clearly licensed. That way, I was able to buy a ton of elephants without having to purchase multiple copies of the exact set. In fact, I'm raising an army of over 10 elephants now, and it was a lot cheaper than buying just even one copy of the set itself. But then moving on, what's really cool is that you can also call in to get pieces that are not available or show up at all on Bricks and Pieces, much like the Ninjago minifigure components I was talking about. Let's take an example here. The Hydro Bounty is the newest flagship large-scale Ninjago set. It retails for $130 and is the only way that you can get Nya in her scuba outfit. Now in the recent Ninjago Seabound season, Nya in this outfit featured heavily, and it's really unfortunate for fans who maybe don't have the money to afford the $130 Hydro Bounty, or are just more interested in other sets, but they do want the main character in her outfit. You can't get her unless you buy this most expensive set. And if you go in bricks and pieces, again, her parts aren't even listed. But again, if you have the instruction manual in front of you, write down the list of each of the pieces, from the legs to the torso to these scuba tanks, even to the top helmet and everything. You can call in, and you guessed it, you'll be able to order all the pieces for these. And I got a couple extra scuba Nyas to spare in case I want to use her in different dioramas. And the best part is, these are cheap. You see, LEGO isn't really going to scalp you because they're the direct seller. So while certain things are maybe a little bit more expensive than you'd think they would be, such as lions being around $7, really, that's a lot cheaper than you're going to pay on Bricklink. And the pieces to, say, Scuba Nya, who's an exclusive minifigure to an $130 set, are really just a couple of cents each. So essentially what you're doing is that you're paying probably less than what you'd even have to pay for a full-on collectible minifigure, which is the $5, for an exclusive figure to one of the largest Ninjago sets. And it doesn't stop there, because basically everything from Ninjago and even stuff like Monkey Kid, any ingrown theme is fully available, especially if you call in. So that way I was able to get a ton of stuff, from a full-on multiple copies of Prince Kalmar to Nya's newest hair and headband combo, which was only seen in the Golden Legacy Nya so far, and even some of the Golden Woos from the Ninjago City Garden set. You can basically get pretty much anything Ninjago just if you call it. Alright, and with that, I've summed up all my tips, tricks, and tactics to get the newest LEGO Summer sets and minifigures for a fair price in the US and even Canada. Now, I hope that you use these tips. Let me know down in the comments below if you found these helpful. And again, thank you all so much for tuning into Duck Bricks. Best of luck getting the newest summer sets early. And again, stay tuned for even more LEGO news, reviews, discussion, and analyses coming your way very soon. Thank you so much, and bye-bye for now.